All right, hey, I'm Keith, and this is my first time on video. So, just facing a fear that I didn't think I was going to face, at least this early on. But that's been part of what I've been doing the past few months, and it's just part of this process, I guess. So, quick introduction if you haven't seen any of my other videos. I've been a type 1 diabetic for 27 years now. I got diagnosed right after turning 15. So I've had it for a while. And at this point, long-term type 1 diabetics, their beta cells, which produce the insulin in their pancreas, are pretty much completely gone. And you just flat out don't produce any insulin. Now, there's more detail. I'll tell just a little bit of the story here, but not much of it. There's more detail. I tell a full story on my website. It's called healingislearning.com, or you can feel free to go back and watch some of the videos, but that can take a while and be a pain. But I kind of get to the point on my website if you want to check that out. But real quick, so 2 years ago, a little over 2 years ago, I started I started to have this major mucus release out of my gut, which is gross. It's so normal for me right now. It's been going on for over 2 years. It's been going. It's slowed down drastically, seriously, over the past week, and it's in line with facing these fears. And I get so tense about it. So we'll see how that turns out. But I've noticed things like that at different times over this past 2 years, but it usually doesn't last. We'll see what happens here. But it definitely always lines up with some sort of tension that I'm holding on to. So I don't necessarily think that doing this video will then all of a sudden release it all again, but we'll see. So, anyways, that mucus release started over 2 years ago, and I started noticing improvements in how much insulin I needed to take. And I only take Novolin Aura insulin. That's the only insulin I take. I don't take any additional background basal insulin at all. So, but my insulin requirements were going down. And so I decided to I actually took some insulin tests after not injecting any insulin. And they came back positive, showing some insulin, but I can't really provide that as proof because no one knows if I didn't inject insulin or not because the test would detect insulin that I would have injected in my body anyway. So the only test you can really take is called a C-peptide test, and this is a C-peptide is essentially a byproduct of when your pancreas produces insulin, it also produces C-peptide. So if you have C-peptide in your blood, it means your body is producing insulin. So type 1 diabetics who've had it as long as I've had pretty much will have zero C-peptide. So I was really hoping that it would be, I would show a decent amount of C-peptide when I got it tested for the first time in September of 2023, but it came back at zero point 0.2, which is still very, very low. The normal range, you should be above 1 for a healthy non-diabetic person. I got it tested again in December of 2023, and it was still at zero point 0.2. So also again disappointed. But then I got it tested again in April of 2024, and it went up to zero point 0.4. Then in August, it went up to zero point 0.6. So before I get to the next test, and I've showed all those blood test results in previous videos. They are also on my website, so you can check that out if you just want to see them there. Now, in the back of my mind over the past year and a half or so, I have had it in my mind where like if I get it up to zero point 0.8, then really like I feel like the fear wouldn't be there to come public with it because I have undeniable proof, and who cares if people think I'm crazy? I don't care. Like I'm showing proof that I can do this. But at the same time, facing these fears, specifically these social type of fears for me, is so big in me healing this underlying condition. Healing the energy specifically that I hold in my body, which manifests that disease, type 1 diabetes. I know that's the case for me. Um, so dealing with these fears is helping so much, and I didn't want to miss out on that opportunity. I didn't want to wait until I got it up to zero point 0.8, even though I've kind of been pushing the goalposts out. As when I got it up to zero point 0.6, I was like, I'm not ready yet. Like if the next time I test it, it's at zero point 0.8, I still don't want to go public. But so it's been a back and forth. But anyways, so the test I got in December, it was at zero point 0.7. And it's weird because I was expecting it to be at zero point 0.8 then, because it's been going up in like zero point 0.2 intervals, zero point 0.2, zero point 0.4, zero point 0.6. Um, so I feel like, whatever, the universe was giving me a chance to face the fear before it got to that level where I said I would come public. So that's why I'm doing this now, to just to face that and see how things go. Um, Also, it surprised me that the past few months actually have not been that great from a insulin requirement perspective. But then I did a fast. I wasn't planning on taking a C-peptide test in December, but I did a 3-day water fast, and I had to take. I took 2.5 units of Novolin R insulin the very first morning of that 3-day water fast, and I didn't have to take any insulin the remainder of that fast, which one surprised me because my insulin requirements had been higher than I would have liked for the past few months, and it's also never happened that quickly. I could like taking that little amount of insulin the very early in the first morning of the fast and never needing any more insulin for the remainder of the fast, was amazing for me. So I wanted to kind of take the opportunity to get a C peptide test just to see where I was at that point in time. So it was about 2 days after the fast. I was eating for 2 days. I went and got that test, and it came back at zero point 0.7. So even though I didn't get to the zero point 0.8, I'm glad I was able to face the fear of coming on here. And at the same time, though, zero point 0.7 is amazing. Not trying to say that from like an arrogant, cocky perspective. I really hope to show that this can be done by anyone. And I still like, I have hesitancy in saying that as if I've done it already, but that's even kind of going away. And I've always been confident as far as being able to do this. Not always. Over the past 5 years, my intent has been really strong with it. But that was my dog, if you heard him kind of gag there. Uh, but saying so publicly is something I have not been confident at all about. So I feel that starting to shift, and so hopefully I can continue with that. Um, I think that's all I really wanted to say. You can again check out my story on the website healingislearning.com. I also have pictures of mucus if you're interested in that. I don't know if I already said that, but it's worth saying twice. The blood test results are on there, and I also provide Reiki. So Reiki has been the biggest impact for me. I did my first Reiki session a little over 2 years ago, and it pretty much catapulted me into this energy healing, and that's what it is. You're healing the energy in your body, the emotions in your body that you've been ignoring. And Reiki was a huge stepping stone for me. And so after I did those sessions, I signed up to to be trained in it. So I am certified. If you're interested in it, please, I'd love to share that experience if it's going to be your first time. Either way, I'd love to help out. I just kind of want to share this message out there. So I think that's all I wanted to say. Nice to. I feel like I was going to say nice to see everybody, but you're just seeing me. But nice for you to see me. Whatever that. I don't know what the hell I'm saying. All right. Thank you. See ya.